Thank you, Roger. Good morning. Thanks for taking time to learn a little bit more about our endeavor. As a trend, medical diagnostics are moving ever closer to the patient. Point-of-care diagnostics can compress response time intervention, which can improve quality of care and reduce overall health costs. However, highly sensitive, rapid immunoassay molecular reagent-based tests for disease, metabolic, nutritional biomarkers at point of care are few and far between. Hardware and protocols can be cumbersome and costly, and development times can stretch out for years. We've taken a different approach. The BioMEMS platform precisely measures any biomarker in any biofluid with no lab skills, no biohazard, no capital-intensive, maintenance-intensive equipment, so sensitive and specific that non-invasive biofluids such as saliva and urine can potentially replace a blood draw for complex tests usually performed in hospital labs. Will this displace all diagnostics? No, that's not practical or realistic. But if you need a simple to use saliva-based TB, HIV, or MRSA diagnostic in less than 10 minutes outside of a tent hospital in the South Sudan, or a rapid concussion test at a sporting event, or maybe a bespoke esoteric panel to validate health benefits of a new functional food, we can provide that solution. We can develop individual tests or test panels from over 200,000 commercially available, clinically relevant antibodies, affinity agents, probes, which we optimize and configure to our sensor array. The current development pipeline, as you can see, spans disease, healthy aging, fertility, sports, nutrition. We address markets opportunistically or as requested by prospective strategic partners, and we are actively seeking collaborators. Business model is fairly straightforward. We generate revenue by developing and manufacturing test kits for global brands to sell around the world. We target companies that make, market, or offer diagnostics as a service. Ideally, our global partners would handle marketing and distribution. We could then expect steady, predictable orders, reduced market risk, and focusing on what we do best. As far as the technology, we've blown past the limitations of microfluidic, chip-based, lab-on-a-chip diagnostics to develop a microelectromechanical sensor array, or a MEMS, to measure extremely dilute target biomarkers in minutes. We've solved engineering and manufacturing issues that have largely prevented widespread adoption of any MEMS platform. And we'll be able to manufacture essentially blank test cartridges in the millions to drive down costs and then economically configure different assays in a secondary process. The handheld analyzer reads and transmits data to our smart app, which then formats results and uploads a digital medical record. Now, we're also producing a benchtop R&D version for sale to universities and research labs, the first of which ships in the next few weeks. These benchtop analyzers and single-use cartridges will be used for clinical research, but also, and most importantly, independently validates the performance and robustness of our design and engineering concept. Now, with respect to the competition, diagnostic methods range from simple chemistry to AI-driven molecular genomics. And these competing technologies we can disrupt by providing results for complex tests faster, cheaper, with greater accuracy at point of care. So PCR, flow cytometry, lab on a chip, each of them have their strengths and weaknesses. Time doesn't permit me to counter each, but a few attributes that none of these can match in aggregate: high throughput, rapid quantitative results at point of care with no sample preprocessing, no target amplification, multiplexing up to 10 channels in a single cartridge in OTC, POC, and lab formats. And except for lateral flow, which is like a pregnancy test, Many of these other methods typically require a lab setting and/or trained personnel. We can take high-need, high-complexity diagnostics out of the lab, bring them closer to the patient, even at home. Initial focus, infectious disease, anti-aging, immune health, nutritional endpoints. Why is nutrition in here? Well, speed to market and lower regulatory hurdles notwithstanding, rapid, inexpensive saliva tests for vitamin and iron deficiencies are unavailable and in great demand worldwide. Our tests can be administered in any setting, anywhere in the world. Our platform is easy to use, simple to understand. Basically, if you can do this, you've pretty well nailed it. Now, the performance of these tests rivals or exceeds that of most analytical equipment. We've achieved 5 picomolar sensitivity in our prototype sensor arrays. Our scientists claim that's about 10 times better than the nearest rival at point of care. And we fully expect to reach femtomolar performance in this next round of production intent sensors. Now, as far as the technical team, Chief Science Officer Dr. Michael Puja, considered one of the world's top 10 IVD innovators with over 100 published papers, dozens of patents, successful products at Siemens and Bayer. We also have Casey Fowler, Chief Executive, biochemist by training, life science intellectual property expert, along with Mike Edmonds, formerly Fluidigm, Thermo, and Apple, who directs the engineering effort. And we've also just opened a development lab in Western Colorado University. So right now, we're looking to close $3 million in late seed funding to scale up production and sale of benchtop analyzers to universities and research labs, and then produce 5,000 to 10,000 of these test cartridges, which will be offered to prospective partners for evaluation and to validate that we can manufacture at commercial scale. The funding will also provide us about 14 months of runway to pursue and close commercial transactions, at which point we'll look at an A round. Each of these test kits represents its own sales channel and revenue stream. So if one particular test isn't getting the market traction we're expecting, there's another 5 coming down the pike. And with our patents just coming online, we can expect 20 years or so of market expansion and product proliferation. Thanks for taking time to hear our story.